You're new to investing, you're starting out or you want to improve your investment knowledge, we'll hope you're in the right place. Because one thing we don't teach people is about personal finance, world of investing. It's confusing taboo. So hopefully you're taking the right steps. Now, my name is Dave. I work in financial services. Now I do at the moment help people about how they access the pensions, but people don't understand it, shall we say. It's complete inertia. So the aim of the videos, my YouTube channel and my blog, moneyminted.co.uk, is to hopefully improve people's financial knowledge and well-being so you can reach your goals just like me. Now by applying these principles, I became a net millionaire at the age of 52. I can work, but I enjoy work, but I work on my terms. Now let's get into this latest video. Now this video is not to boast or brag or say look at me, but to give people hope. If I can build a portfolio over 6 figures, you can too. By investing in a tax-free wrapper, thinking long term, and it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. So how have we done over the years? Well, a quick look at the graphic. It took us 7 years from getting from zero to £100,000, and we're now at £150,689. So we've done it on a gradual basis. We look at the contribution, shall we say. We've put £99,408 in, and we received dividends of just over £12,500. Annual return, shall we say, over the last 8 years has been just over 14%. We'll have good years, we'll have bad years, but it just goes to show, if you think long term, the power of compounding. So a quick look at the following chart, shall we say, year by year performance. So, shall we say, we've not actually put the full amount every year, but we've put it as we spend money. Now we do automate our savings, normally at the first of each month, but as and when we get some kind of windfall or some kind of spare money, we top it up because it's an efficient wrapper. We've had some good years, we've had some bad years. So let's just say 29% was our best year, but we lost 5% during COVID. Okay, and the dividends. Our first year made £209. We actually dropped during COVID down to £129, but last year we made over £4,000, and this year to date, £3,158. So for the first 6 months, £500, and we've got a yield of around about 5.45%. But all the dividends are reinvested. If they're nicer, they're completely tax-free. Okay, you're not restricted. There's no need, shall we say, to declare for an HMRC, and you're not going to pay any dividend tax to the government. So that's why it's done a wrapper, and they will all reinvest. So hopefully next year our dividends will give us better shares, better payouts, as I said, as part of the process. But it just goes to show the power of compounding. A quick little summary. Now we were, shall we say, predominantly UK based, but now, shall we say, within 61% UK and Europe, within 29% USA and Americas, and 10% in the major emerging markets. And when we do put money in now, okay, all our dividends reinvest in the UK, but any new contributions are invested in a simple low-cost fund, shall we say, to get us away from UK markets. Now, at the moment, we're roughly about 50% in shares, 50% in funds. Okay. Now, let's have a quick look at the funds, very briefly, of what we hold in our portfolio. At the moment, we own 10 funds. 44% in the FTSE 100, so the top 100 listed shares in the UK, and 6% in the FTSE 250. Largest shareholding is Lloyds, the banking group. We own nearly £16,000, 11% of our portfolio. Everyone needs banks, shall we say. They've struggled until last year, but the shackles are off, very cash rich. But they've got a yield of nearly 5%. We own, shall we say, insurance companies, Aviva, L&G, NatWest, shall we say, some growth companies, down to our smallest holding is Sainsbury's. £2,600, but nearly 2% of our portfolio. Everyone needs food, everyone needs to eat, and again, very cash rich. A yield around about 4%, but it just goes to show good names. They've been around for years, they'll still be around in years. They're just what we call long-term buy and holds, but it's done for a reason. Because there's no reason to sell any shares in the foreseeable future. We just switch off, does what it said the tin, but they will have good years, they will have bad years, but they're all what we call big name players. Now let's look very briefly into what we hold within the funds. At the moment we own 9 funds, 5 in profit, 4 in loss. Predominantly, shall we say, in what we call passive or tracker funds. So our largest holding in passive venture funds are £24,500, 17%. Very low fees from our platform provider. We just switch off. It's got, shall we say, an annual return for the last 5 years around about 10%, but it covers the market, does what it says in the tin. We own an LNG technology fund, 17%, 11% of our portfolio. Had a great one, shall we say, the Magnificent Seven. Could have in future, but skew with for the last few years. It's the latest fashion, shall we say. But again, big companies, everyone's investing through simple, shall we say, tracker funds. Fees around about 0.3% of our portfolio, but again, a good returns. And we own a Fidelity World Index fund. Again, £17,000, 11% of our portfolio. Just switch off, got a yield around about 10%. Okay. Down to, shall we say, some shares that have struggled, or funds have struggled. Emerging markets, and we've got a Russia fund. We put £500 in, went to £600 plus, and it's struggled ever since the Ukraine conflict has happened. Now worth 0.17% of our portfolio, but it just goes to show, shall we say, you're not going to get everything right, but we're not prepared to a loss. But thankfully, it makes up a very tiny percentage of our portfolio. Now, moving forwards, we're going to, shall we say, diversify from some of the funds back in profit to simple tracker funds. But again, they were done for a reason. We just switch off. Does what it said in the tin. No investment risk, and we just reinvest on a regular basis at the start of each month. When you're starting out, learn some basics, okay? Automate your savings, so make it a decision to invest every month. It could be £50 or £100, whether it's payday or the first of each month. Once you get in the habit, increase it, shall we say, once a year, do a review, okay? But you're doing it for a reason, so find out why you're investing, okay? Learn to reinvest all dividends within a tax wrapper, okay? And think long term. Now, when you're starting out, you may do, shall we say, a simple fund. Now, look at the quick graphic. I use AJ Bell or You Investor platform. They've got their own tools. They've got funds they recommend. They've got starter funds. They've got intermediate funds based on your attitude to risk. Use the fund to help you. Okay. I personally use something, shall we say, I'm happy with a Fidelity World Index fund. Quick little graphic. It's got yields, of around about 1%. Owns 1,500 shares. Very low fees of 0.12%, but it gave an annual return last 5 years of over 10%. Okay, but it's done that because of a, shall we say, UK basis. But it just goes to show the information's there. Pick a simple fund, and as you do get invested, as you improve your knowledge, pick your own fund if you want. Okay, but you've done it for a reason. Okay. So hopefully, give you a bit of an idea. If I can build a portfolio, you can too. So think long term, invest regular, and shall we say, invest on a regular basis. It's finally remember the power of compounding. To go from 0 to 100,000, it's took us 7 years. We're now at 150 already through the second year. So hopefully between 1 to 200,000, it's going to take us 4 years tops. But it just goes to show you will get there at the end. If you think long term, you reinvest, and think of it about a snowball. Remember, like the videos, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next video.